boy, welcome. So yes, welcome. So basically, in this Gemini reading, I'm going to tell you all that it's going to be very interesting and satisfactory. This is how it goes. This is not going to be no one's land. This is not that's the way it works. But this is the way how it's going to be in this whole entire situation. Going to be because I don't know what's going on with Gemini these days. I don't know what's going on. By the way, all this is, I'm going to say it. So Gemini is going to be for October 12th to October 20th of 2025. So in this reading for you, Gemini, I hope that everything is going to be all welcoming for you. I hope that everything's going to be all great. It's going to be all short and sweet. But this is how it is. So overall, I think that my own disadvantage up here. I think that my own the way how this is. I think that it's going to be very interesting indeed, and I hope that you all like it. Please get a like, please get a comment if you want. But this is how it is. So this is the way it kind of is in this situation. No one about it. That's how it works. But this is the way it kind of is in this situation. So this is the way how it works. But you know what, Gemini, you need to improve yourself wisely to do what's going on. We're going to figure out what's going on in this situation. This is the way how it works. So we're going to figure out what's happening in this situation, and this is how it's going to be, how it is in this whole entire, way. How it is in this way, and this is how it goes in that way. So here we go. So basically, for you Gemini, we have the Seneca Discovery. There's a delusion here. You might be having your own deja vu moments. I mean, it could be that. It might be where you might deal with an Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio in that way. Because you're going to be focusing on that. Focusing about your own ways about knowing to do, your own internship, your own, how it is. You're not trying to have your own passive, aggressive situations, no matter how it is. But this is how it seems to be. You need to know what's going to be happening in that way. And you think, okay, everything's going to be fine, but this is how it goes. You need to have your own dedicated skills to understand what's going on, because this is the way it seems to be in that way, right? That's how it goes. So, let's see what's going on. So we're going to know what's going on in the situation. We'll go from the middle to the left, middle to the right. Magician reversed, followed by the Fool's upright, followed by the Ace of Pentacles reversed, followed by the Seven of Swords reversed, followed by the Three of Swords upright. There's heartbreak here. Because you're feeling sad, you're whimpering, you don't know what to do, you're acting like everything is going to change in a split second. That's how it goes. So you might be dealing with a Gemini the Aquarius in that way. Because you're thinking, okay, everything's going to be fine, but you understand that. This is the way how it goes. This is the way of how it is. You're going to be having your own perplexed of how it's going to be in that way, and you think, okay, everything's going to be fine, yes, but you understand that. So you have to go with the rhythm. You have to go with the flow. You have to pay attention on how it goes. You're trying to have your own ways. If you're having your own direction, please don't do it. That's how it goes. But there are things you must learn first in order to do that. What's the middle to the right side, please? The Eight of Pentacles over, you want perfection. Queen of Swords, there's charisma. Five of Swords, there's no conflict. King of Pentacles, there's no prosperity. Five of Pentacles, there's no prosperity. The Hermit, reverse, you already have a soulmate. And the Lover's over, you're making decisions. That's how it goes, Gemini, because that's how it goes in that way. Because this is the way it seems to be. This is the way of how it works. This is the way of, getting your involved, But there are things you must learn first in order to do that. That's the way how it is. So when you make decisions, you're going to make decisions. If you need that everything's going to be fine, you're being wanted, you're being needed, you're being whoever it is, that's how it goes, right? There are things that you understand that to, get the better of you. That's how it goes. When things to be in that perspective, you think, okay, this is how it goes. I'm not saying, well, with me, I can't do this, but the way how this is, you need to understand that. You need to have your own ways about considering what we're going to do next. That's how it goes. So let's see what's going on in the middle of this situation, please. So the Knight of Swords, so there is basically drama here in this situation. You might be dealing with another generally recurs in that way, because that's how it goes, right? So you understand of how it's going to be in that way, because you need to understand this, Gemini. You need to understand that. So you understand about what's going on. So when you have drama, it's like compared to acting, where you're acting all nice, you're acting all sweet, you're acting who you are. But basically, of how it's going to be in that way, it's like everything's going to be all good. This is how it is. So you're trying to understand that, right? So you have to believe in order to do that. So this is the way it works. So let me clarify between the left side, please. So Sun carry Earth, there's negativity. The Strength is right, there's bravery, and the Stars are right, there's inspiration. That's how it goes. So you might be having bravery, you might be dealing with an Leo as a fire sign, because that's how it goes. If you're in negativity, you're into that, because that's the way it goes. You're thinking, well, I don't want to have negativity. I can't do this anymore. I quit. Yes, it is, but you know what? It's your choice, right, on how you're feeling. Let's go from the middle to the right side, please. The Stars are right, there's inspiration. The Moon is upright, there's misrotations. The Wheel of Fortune reverse, you're having bad luck, right? So when you're in negativity, when you're having bad luck, things are not going as planned, because you're thinking, well, woe is me, I can't do anything more, I quit. But there are things you need to understand to, get a better view to understand that, right? That's how it is. So you understand of how it goes. So let's see what's going in the middle of this situation. The Death card is upright. So there's endings here. So it does represent Scorpio as a water sign. But the way how this is, it might be how it is in that way. So you're trying to figure out what's going on in this situation. So let me clarify between the Death card, towards the Strength card, and the Star. The Star reverse, so there's no inspiration. Judgment reverse, you're not taking action. The Magician reverse, there's no skill. The Chariot reverse, there's no progress. The Hero reverse, there's no guidance. The Sun carry reverse says there's negativity. Obviously there is, because you're saying, well, I can't do this more. I don't want to do it. But the way how this is, it's like everything has to be all good. This is not concrete. This is not the way how it works. But you understand that, right? So you have to believe in order to do that. That's the way it seems to be. You're trying to make your own decision. You're trying to have your own, you're only gonna have your own life choices to understand that, right? That's how it goes. But you understand what I'm saying, right? That's the way it is. Let's see what this Wheel of Fortune is about. The Hermit reverse, you already have a soulmate. The Emperor reverse, there's no structure. The Devil reverse, there's no obsessions. The Fool is over, there's change. Because everything is changing, right? So it's like when everything's changing in a split second, you think, oh, well, this is going to be very interesting. All right, I know what to do. Yes, but you plan it out. You need to understand that, because this is a way of how it is. This is like almost like a life lesson, right? And guarantees to understand of how it's going to be. It's like, okay, everything's going to be fine, all right. But this is how it goes. So you understand that. So I'm going to go from the middle to the right, middle to the left. The High Priestess reverse, there's no inner voice. H1 star, there's no beginning. King Wands is upright, there's passion here. The Fool reverse, there's no change. The reverse, there's no obsessions. If I want to over, there's chaos. Yeah, everything is going to be all chaos for you in that way. So it could be you versus them in this, into this segment. I don't know what that word means, but you understand what I'm saying, right? So everything has to be all connected in that society. So you might deal with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius in that way, because that's how it goes. We're between the middle and the left side, please. The Four of Pentacles reverse, so there's no prosperity. 8 Pentacles reverse, there's no perfection. 5 Swords over, there's conflict. Obviously there is, because you're taking it. You're taking it as the way how it goes, because this is not going to end well. This is not the way how it seems to be. So you understand of how it goes in that way, because you go with the flow, and that's how it is in that way. What's the middle of this situation, please? Now, the Swords reverse, there's no trauma, but 7 Wands is already there's resilience. Yeah, because when you're saying that you're having resilience, things are not going as planned. Things are not, having it is, right? So this is like how it is in that way, because you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to know what's right, what's wrong. You know how it's going to be. So this is how it's going to comply to you, no matter how you're going to face in your own abilities. From the right and wrong perspective, that's all you can do. But you need to take a risk. You have to take your own life experiences along the way. That's how it goes. And when things are going to be into that perspective way, you have to pay attention to. That's the way how it works, right? But you know what I'm saying, right? So that's how it goes. So you understand the way how this is, because this can be like how the divine timing it is in that way. So I'm going to go from the middle. I'm going to go from the left. I'm going to go towards the right. Five of Cups here, there's no grief. Ten of Swords here, there's no conclusions. And then we have the Judgment here, there's no action. Alright, so let's see what's going on with this Ten of Swords here. So Chariot yours, there's no progress. Hermit yours, you already have a soulmate. The Swords is already their inspiration. That's how it goes, right? So you want to have your own ways about considering what's going to be happening in that way, and that's how it goes, right? You have to move along to get how you can do it in that way, because that's how it goes. This is the way how it works in that way, to understand what you want, what you get, what you provide, because that's how it goes, right? So if you wish upon something, Gemini, you have to pay attention to that in that way. What's this Five of Cups about? The Emperor is upright. You want structure, and plus you want celebration, because you want to be celebrated in that way, because everything has to be all good. Yes, it is, but you have to comply of how it is in that way. You're trying to compare what you want, what you get, what you perceive, because that's how it goes in that way. What's this Judgment about? The Two of Cups are, you want relationships and friendships, and you want to have the Nine of Swords separate, because there's trauma here in that way, because it's like you're feeling like, oh well, this is not going to end well. No, it's not, because if you want to have relationships, you want to proceed like that, right? If you're acting like you want Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, if you want to have, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, generally Aquarius, you have to understand that you have to involve yourself wisely to get the better of you. That's how it goes. You have to have your own outcome to understand what you want in that way, right? This is how it is, right? So this is how it seems to be. So let me go from the middle to the right, middle to the left. Six of Wands here, there's no achievement. Five of Wands here, there's no chaos. The Emperor reverse, there's no structure. Knight of Pentacles here, there's no trust. Queen of Pentacles here, there's no independence. The Strength card is bravery. So you're being bravery, right? You want bravery in that how it goes, because you're not showing your independence, but you want to do that in that way, because you need to accept what you want in that way, because you're trying to have your own daily routine of how it goes in that way. So you might be dealing with a Leo as a fire sign. That's how it goes. What's between the middle and the left side? Three of Pentacles, there's excitement. Ace of Pentacles, there's growth. And Six of Cups is upright, there's the past. Yeah, because you're drawn to that past, Gemini. That's how it goes. When you're into that, you're trying to figure out, well, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do it, but then I have to keep doing it. That's the way it goes. It's like, this is like almost like a life study, but that's how it goes. You're trying to understand what you want, what you get, what you provide, but that's how it goes if you want, right? That's how it is. What's the middle of this situation? 10 of Cups here, there's incompletion. 3 of Wands here, there's no communication. 7 of Swords here, you're feeling deceit. Lovers, there's basically you're making decisions. That's how it goes, because in that way, in that perspective, that's how it goes in that way, because you have to stand that. You have to divine timing what you want, what you get, and what you proceed, because that's how it goes in that way, right? That's how it goes. So, in that way, Gemini, you need to understand about what's happening in this situation, no matter what's going to be happening in that way, because you're trying to have your own daily routine. You have to know what it is if you're making these choices wisely. It all depends on your point of view. It all depends on you. That's how it goes. And when you do it, that's the way it seems to be, Gemini. You need to pay attention no matter what it is in that way, because you have to believe it. You have to achieve it. You have to understand that, right? It's the way how it goes. This is the way how it is. This is not, beautiful and short and sweet and, how it is. It's not. But the way all this is, you have to be understandable to understand of how it is in that way. It's like, okay, I know what to do, alright. But you have to take your own ways to understand what's going on, right? That's just how it goes. So, this is like how it is. This is not like seasoned readings or anything like that. It's not. But the way all this is, you have to believe in order to do it. That's how it goes, because you're trying to have your own, you ask and you shall receive, or whatever it is, right? That's the way it works, but you understand that, right? So I hope you all like this video. Please give a like, please a comment if you want, but I understand this is the way it seems to be, and this is how it goes in that way, and this is how it seems to be, right? This is the way it is. So I hope you all like it and enjoy it, because this is the way it seems to be, and understand this is how it goes. So I hope you all like it. Please give a like, please a comment if you want, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye for now, really, thank you, and bye.